You've done everything right, you're succeeding on paper, but inside, why does it still feel off, maybe even numb and empty? Well, here's the paradox. You're successful, but it doesn't feel like success. You hit the milestones, but you're still stressed, wired, and wondering, is this it? After working for 2 decades with high performers, I've seen the same hidden patterns. Burnout rarely starts with the workload. It starts with unmet needs, misalignment, and an inner game that's out of sync with the outer world. Even icons like Beyoncé have spoken about needing to hit pause after achieving it all. But what if I told you that perhaps the life that you've built has been running on the wrong kind of fuel? Let me show you what's really going on beneath the surface as we continue in this episode. You've heard the phrase, work hard, play hard, but no one ever talks about what happens when you work hard at the wrong things or for the wrong reasons. This is what I call the success paradox, when achievement is masking misalignment. So some high achievers seem to have it all. Career wins, relationships, financial stability. Others may excel in one domain while silently struggling in others. But in both cases, something still feels off. Why? What I've found is that it's because you're out of alignment with your inner game. And when I say inner game, I'm talking about your root beliefs, your values, your identity, and the emotional and physical well-being that you hold in this beautiful body. And here's the kicker. When there's misalignment or stress under the surface, high achievers don't always slow down. In fact, they rarely slow down, right? I've been there. We don't. We just go faster. Instead, we often default to avoidance tendencies like overworking, perfectionism, chasing the next milestone to distract from the discomfort. It's not laziness. That's all I can tell you. It's not laziness. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just simply a coping strategy. When your inner game is off, even a life that looks good on the outside can feel heavy, hollow, or disconnected. So chronic stress becomes the norm, not because of how much you're doing, but because of how little the life that you're in is reflecting who you truly are. The big mistake that I see most achievers make is treating burnout like it's a time problem. Right? They plan better, they delegate more, they optimize. But what if burnout, again, isn't about doing too much? What if it's about doing too much of what doesn't align with who you truly are? We unconsciously say yes to the life level goals that we have, right? We say yes to the things that look good, but deep down, maybe they feel wrong. We pick careers, relationships, lifestyles based on expectations, not always our inner truth. And often we are chasing the next hit of dopamine of validation or adrenaline, and we live in a loop of just one more project, right? Or when I hit that goal, then I'll finally feel XYZ, right? It's not just stress that we're experiencing under the surface, it's actually stress addiction. Our nervous systems are wired to stay in overdrive because slowing down feels perhaps unsafe or unfamiliar. Now, here is the biggest trap of them all, and we often believe that problem is in one area of life, right? So we go all in, we hyper focus on our business, pouring money into personal development, or we try to fix a relationship. But when that doesn't change how we feel inside, we're left feeling pretty frustrated and confused and even more burned out. I know I was. Think about a high performer that thinks their career is the issue. So they change jobs, hire a coach, or start a new business. But months in, they still feel this emptiness. It's just still there because the root cause of their stress wasn't the job. It was the identity and belief system or unmet emotional needs driving the overwork in the first place. And we see this all of the time. And that's the real stressor, right? Is living a life that isn't yours because we're not looking behind the scenes. And that's costing you the energy that you're using to chase goals that just perhaps don't belong to you. So that all being said, what's the big idea here, right? What do we do about this? Ultimately, life is a reflection of our inner game. Right? Think of it like a pyramid. You've got your root level at the bottom as a foundation. It's made of your identity, your emotions, your beliefs. It's the foundation, right? Then we have our health level in the middle, and that's our energy system. It's how we sleep, eat, move, process emotions, how we think. And then we have at the very top of that pyramid our life level. That's what the world sees, right? It's the career, it's the relationship, the finances, the purpose that you're living. But here's the shift, right? You don't need more strategy, time hacks, or productivity systems to be able to make all of those different levels of the pyramid work seamlessly. You just need to realign with who you actually are. So your energy is not being wasted on performing, proving, or pushing yourself in ways that just don't make any sense for what you really truly want. So the truth is, like, most of what people call life problems are actually signs from that root or health level of the pyramid. Take, for example, like the tension in your relationship could well be an identity issue, right? Or let's take the constant work stress, right? Maybe it's actually misaligned to your values and it's not the work itself. What about that lack of fulfillment? Right? That's probably a sign that your needs are not being met mentally, emotionally, physically, or spiritually. So when your inner world is aligned, your nervous system is regulated, your energy becomes restored, and your beliefs are congruent with your actions, and life feels easier and better. And it works both ways, right? When you courageously upgrade a life level, by ending something that's misaligned, or you're choosing more connection, play, or purpose, you can actually then help to regulate your nervous system too and start healing at the root level. Now, inner alignment equals outer success that feels sustainable. It gives us better decision making, right? It becomes second nature to us to make good decisions. Our fulfillment becomes a byproduct, not a chase of what we're up to in life. You can achieve more with less effort because your actions stem from clarity, not pressure all of the time, right? Your authenticity will replace anxiety. Your clarity will replace chronic stress. And your inner wealth will replace the constant need to continually prove yourself to others, or even like please others as well. So here's the thing. We're not here to balance it all, right? I believe that's a myth, right? I think balance is an attitude, but ultimately balance is not the goal. Alignment is. And so take this as your permission to redesign your life without burning it all down. You don't have to give up everything you've worked for. No. You just need to take a look and see what is going on under the surface that could be the real problem, not the problem that you're seeing on the surface level, right? What is the root of your experience? Let's look at a real world example, right? Look at Beyoncé, right? In her documentary called Homecoming, she admitted that she was like building a legacy and she was completely depleted the whole time. Like her physical well-being, her emotional well-being just completely bombed, right? And her pivot was all about slowing down, aligning with what matters most to her. And for her, that was her health, her children, and her voice, right? So it can be super, super simple. And if somebody like Beyoncé can hit pause and figure stuff out, like the rest of us can too. And I know you might be thinking, well, she's rich, she's got all the time in the world, she can do that, right? But ultimately, like, it's going to cost you way more if you don't pause and reflect. And like I said, you don't have to burn it all down. You don't have to stop everything. All we need to do is shift and tweak as we go. So what can you do now, right? So let me give you some steps. So the first thing is to look at the life levels, right? Look at your career, look at your finances, look at your hobbies, look at all of the different areas of your life and ask yourself honestly, which one of these looks good on the outside, but feels a bit off on the inside? And be real with yourself, right? You're the only person that needs to see it. Then grab that journal and ask yourself, like, whose goals am I chasing here? Are they your goals? What feels heavy lately and why? Or what am I tolerating that is actually misaligned and it isn't the truth of who you are? So choose one area of life and ask yourself, what would alignment feel like here? Right? So maybe it's something in your family home. What would alignment feel like in the context of your family, right? And do that for whatever life area it is that needs your attention right now. And remember, it's all connected, right? You don't have to fix everything and all at once. And I say fix, it's not that things are broken, it's just that we need to tune in, right? And make these small shifts so that we can start to bring your inner game into alignment. So your key takeaway here, right, is that you don't need more time. You need more truth. You need to align to your inner game and your outer life will catch up. If you feel like after doing that reflection, pause the video, do that reflection like now while it's fresh in your mind. And if you still feel like something's off, I would encourage you to come and take the High Achiever Scorecard, which will help to highlight to you where that misalignment could be when we look at that performance pyramid, when we look at the root health and life. And ultimately, it's going to help you to get to the root cause of any stresses that you're experiencing, also how to shift back into sustainable high performance. The link to that scorecard is in the show notes for you as well. So you don't have to burn it all down to live a life that feels right. Whew, big sigh of relief, right? But you just have to come back into alignment, and it's more than possible. I'll see you in the next video.
If you enjoyed this episode and you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode.
Then share it with a friend who you think might benefit.
Spread the word. That's how we're going to impact the world, by helping each other.
We appreciate you so much, and as always, unconditional love and wellness to you.